Okay, picture this. You're, yet another group dinner, and everyone around the table, they ordered the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They agree on every single topic, politics, that new show everyone's watching, investment tips,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole conversation just follows the same predictable path as last week.
Right. That feeling, that sort of mild conversational claustrophobia, that's actually a perfect starting point for our deep dive today.
Okay.
We're not here saying, ditch your friends, not at all. That
Yeah.
core group, your inner circle, it's vital.
Absolutely.
But we are doing a kind of serious friend group health check today.
That's right. Our mission here is to really look into this concept some researchers are calling social nutrition.
Social nutrition, I like that.
Yeah. It's basically this idea that just like your diet needs balance, your social world, your ecosystem of friends, it needs variety too, if you want, greater life satisfaction in the long run.
Right.
So we're diving into a bunch of research that, well, it seems to give us a pretty clear playbook for finding that balance.
And I think we should jump straight to the core finding, because it really challenges how most people think about friendships, doesn't it?
It does.
The research suggests there's actually a quantitative sweet spot, a specific ratio that seems to deliver, well, maximum happiness.
Okay, let's get right into that number then. The optimal friend group, according to this research, is about 50% similar and 50% diverse.
Yeah.
Now, when I first read that, I really had to pause. Because logically, you'd think, okay, 100% agreement, everyone gets along. That should equal 100% comfort, right? Maximum happiness.
Seems intuitive.
But this 50-50 split, it sounds a bit risky. I mean, if connection needs common ground, how do these sources assure us that having 50% diversity won't just lead to, well, friction and arguments?
That's the key distinction, though. It's not 50% disagreement, it's 50% diversity.
Yeah.
And that difference is crucial. The data backing this up, it comes from a huge 2024 study. They analyzed, get this, over 24,000 people across 10,000 neighborhoods.
Oh, okay. That's genuinely compelling scale.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the finding,
Right.
crystal clear. The people who reported the highest levels of life satisfaction, the best social connection, they were the ones whose friend groups were only moderately diverse.
Moderately diverse. So what does that mean exactly?
It means differences in things like age, maybe background, income levels, or even just interests and hobbies.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, deep philosophical opposition on every single issue,
Right.
but enough variation that it prevents stagnation. It keeps things fresh.
So it's like the Goldilocks zone.
Okay.
Too much similarity and you miss out on growth, new ideas. But too much difference, maybe you struggle to find that common ground to even build the connection in the first place.
Exactly. It has to be just right.
Okay.
And this isn't just one study. It's supported by previous research, too. Longitudinal studies, like some out of the University of Birmingham, they found the same thing. The happiest, most well-adjusted people consistently showed this kind of moderate 50-50 split. So that diversity, it isn't friction. It actually seems to provide necessary resilience, different perspectives when life, inevitably throws curveballs.
Okay, so if that balance is the goal, then we need some sort of diagnostic tool,
Yeah.
right? How do you, listening right now, how do you figure out if your social circle might be a little too homogenous, if you're suffering from what the sources call the echo chamber effect?
Well, the sources give us some pretty clear red flags, signs that maybe your social circle isn't delivering enough of that social nutrition.
Okay, let's hear them.
The first one is often the most obvious: political homogeneity. If literally every single person you spend significant time with shares the exact same political views, well, you're definitely limiting your exposure to how the other half, or maybe even the other 90% of the world thinks.
Yeah, that makes sense. And often that homogeneity spills over into work life, right? Especially maybe in a city like Charlotte where you have big dominant industries.
Exactly. Which brings us to red flag number 2, the career clone club. If basically all your friends work in very similar industries, maybe everyone's in banking or everyone's in tech or teaching or whatever it is, your conversations, your networking opportunities, they just become instantly narrower.
Right, you're all talking about the same work stuff, the same challenges.
Which then leads very naturally to conversational stagnation. Red flag number 3.
Okay.
You know you're in this pattern when conversations, well, they rarely challenge your core thinking. And maybe you even find yourself actively avoiding certain topics where you know there might be disagreement, even mild disagreement, just to kind of keep the peace.
No, definitely been there. We all hate rocking the boat sometimes, don't we?
We do. And the final red flag, and this one's maybe easy to slip into, especially in a growing city with popular spots, is the same scene syndrome.
Same scene syndrome. Tell me more.
This is where your entire social life pretty much revolves around just one specific location or type of activity. Like, you only hang out in, say, South End breweries, or you only go to professional networking events, or maybe you only see people you already knew from college.
Gotcha. So you're limiting the places you might actually bump into different kinds of people.
Precisely. And the irony here, the really fascinating thing the research suggests, is that avoiding that mild disagreement in the short term, it actually weakens relationships in the long run.
How so?
Because moderate disagreement, exposure to diverse perspectives, it actually strengthens the trust in relationships. It builds respect. And it accelerates your own personal growth.
Right.
Too much validation, just hearing yes all the time, it limits your worldview. It prevents you from kind of stress testing your own beliefs, you know?
That's a great point. So, okay, let's bring this back to the listener. What's the actual payoff here? Why should you put in the effort, maybe step outside your comfort zone for a bit, to intentionally seek out that 50% diversity?
Well, the benefits are really tangible. It goes way beyond just, being more cultured, although that's part of it.
Okay.
First, it's a personal growth accelerator. Diverse friendships, they just fundamentally challenge your assumptions about how the world works. The sources had this great example. Someone who grew up in rural North Carolina becoming friends with someone who'd only ever known, like, the fast pace of coastal New Jersey.
Right.
That contrast, it provides real, actionable wisdom you just wouldn't get otherwise.
And practically speaking, especially in a city like Charlotte with its job market, expanding your network can mean crucial career opportunities, right?
Absolutely. The biggest leaps often come from that cross-pollination of knowledge. Your friend in a creative field might tip you off to some new tech platform, or maybe your teacher friend connects you with a nonprofit contact. It opens doors you didn't even know existed.
That makes total sense.
What else? Third, there's an undeniable cultural richness. Different friends mean you actually explore different parts of the city. You find new restaurants maybe in Hidden Valley, or you discover these cool late-night music spots in Noda that feel completely different from uptown.
Yeah, breaks you out of your usual routine.
Exactly. And the final benefit, maybe the most important one, is resilience building.
Resilience? How does diversity help there?
Well, think about it. When tough times hit, a diverse social network provides varied emotional support, different kinds of advice. If all your friends are in the same industry and you all face a downturn together...
Yeah, you're all in the same boat, maybe panicking together.
Right. They can maybe only offer one flavor of advice or support, but a diverse network that gives you multiple perspectives, different solutions, maybe more practical help.
Okay, that's really compelling. So if we're convinced, how do we do this right? We need a strategy, don't we? We can't just, throw out our old friend.
No, definitely not. And the sources are really careful to frame this the right way. They call it the addition, not subtraction approach.
Addition, not subtraction. Okay, I like that. That feels less daunting.
It's key. You are absolutely not replacing your core group. You're expanding your social ecosystem. Think of it like investing.
All right.
You keep your safe, reliable investments. Those are your core friends. But you also dedicate part of your portfolio to more diversified, maybe high-growth assets. Those are the new connections.
That's a great analogy. Okay, so it's practical, but people need, tactical steps, right? Especially in a city like Charlotte, which has these really distinct neighborhoods and social scenes that are changing fast. Where do you even start?
Right, where do you actually go?
Yeah. And this is where the research got really interesting because it included this sort of Charlotte-specific playbook, examples of how people successfully branched out in, low-pressure organic ways.
Oh, okay, let's get specific then. The sources detail particular venues, certain activities that are almost designed for this kind of organic interaction.
Like what?
Well, take Legion Brewing in Plaza Midwood, for instance. It's mentioned because it's known for deliberately hosting diverse events. Things like drag shows, open mic nights.
Okay.
These events intentionally pull in really different crowds than, say, your average neighborhood bar, which just naturally increases your odds of chatting with someone new, someone different.
That makes sense. What else?
Similarly, things like the gallery crawls in Noda, they happen, I think, the first and third Fridays.
Yeah, that sounds right.
They're kind of perfect because everyone's already focused on something else, the art. So the pressure of making small talk is way lower. And you get artists, longtime residents, young professionals, all mingling.
Okay. Art crawls, diverse brewery events. What about activities?
Yeah, activity-based groups are great because they inherently pull from different sectors. The Charlotte Running Club gets a specific shout-out.
Because you're too out of breath for awkward small talk.
Uh-huh, exactly. You're focused on breathing, on the run itself, and that shared physical challenge builds rapport really quickly. And don't overlook places like farmers markets.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, whether it's South End or, the one out at Atherton, they mix everyone. Urban gardeners, suburban families, local chefs, students.
Right. All sorts of people just milling around. And we definitely have to talk about neighborhood hopping, too. You almost have to leverage the city's built-in demographic diversity.
Absolutely. You need to know the vibes. South End, generally speaking, is dominated by young professionals, lots of tech, lots of banking.
Right. Peak same-scene syndrome potential if you're not careful.
Could be, but if you're looking for more creatives, artists, musicians, you probably need to spend some time exploring NODA.
Okay. And for age diversity?
For age diversity, maybe a more eclectic mix, longtime locals mixed with newcomers. Plaza Midwood is often cited as the spot for that.
Gotcha.
Conversely, if you're looking to connect with people in different life stages, maybe established families, more senior executives exploring what's going on in Ballantyne might be necessary.
It really highlights how geographically segmented social life can be, doesn't it?
It does. But the good news is the city's also creating sort of structured ways to help people bridge these gaps.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, the sources point to organizations specifically built to facilitate these low-risk meetings. There's one called Discourse.
Discourse.
Yeah, they organize these small group dinners, like maybe 6 or 8 people, all strangers, usually for a pretty nominal fee, maybe $15 or so. The whole point is just meaningful connection over a meal.
That sounds cool. Takes the awkwardness out of approaching strangers.
Exactly. And then there's the CLT Social Club, which focuses more on organizing curated parties or events specifically designed for making friends across different demographics.
So tools exist to help overcome that initial hurdle, that fear of the cold introduction.
Definitely. But even with these tools, people are going to have resistance, right? Those nagging excuses.
Oh, yeah. We need to tackle those head on. What's the first one you always hear? I just don't have time for new friends.
Right. Life is busy. But the counterpoint here is actually pretty powerful. Quality connections, especially diverse ones, can be a time saver in the long run.
Oh.
Think about it. One 30-minute coffee with a new connection who has totally different expertise. They might give you advice or insight that saves you hours of research or helps you avoid a costly mistake down the line.
That's a good point. It's higher value than, say, mindlessly scrolling social media for that same 30 minutes.
Exactly. Way higher ROI on your time.
Okay, what about the really personal fear? What if my current friends feel replaced or jealous?
That's a common one. The advice here is all about framing. Frame this expansion as personal growth. Share the interesting things you're learning, the cool people you're meeting.
Make it about adding, not swapping out.
Precisely. Good, secure friends genuinely want you to be happy and grow. And plus, you can become a bridge. Selectively introducing people from your different circles can actually strengthen your entire social structure.
Okay. And the last big one, I'm just too introverted for all this putting myself out there stuff.
Yeah, totally valid feeling. But remember, introverts often thrive in structured activities where conversation isn't the only focus.
Right.
Think book clubs, hiking groups, maybe a pottery class, volunteering. These settings take the pressure off constant, open-ended mingling. The activity provides the structure.
Good point. So, okay, let's say you're meeting new people, diversifying. How do you manage this? How do you sustain this new, richer social ecosystem? It sounds like it could get complicated.
It could, so you need a framework for maintenance. The research actually suggests a kind of quantitative approach here. The 70-20-10 rule.
70-20-10. Okay, break that down.
Dedicate roughly 70% of your social energy and time to your core established friends, those deep, reliable relationships.
Okay, the foundation.
Then allocate about 20% to newer, developing friendships. These are the people you're actively getting to know, vetting for that 50-50 mix, seeing if there's real connection.
Makes sense. And the last 10%.
Reserve 10% for activities specifically aimed at meeting completely new people, trying that discourse dinner, going to a gallery opening alone, joining a new club. This ensures continuous but low-pressure growth and input.
I like that. It makes the whole process feel measurable and manageable, not overwhelming.
Exactly. And alongside that rule, you need the habit of regular friendship audits.
Like checking your social bank account.
Sort of. Just check in with yourself every few months. Ask, am I learning new things from my interactions? Is my worldview expanding, even slightly? Am I leaning into a little healthy discomfort sometimes? Or am I slipping back into the comfortable echo chamber?
It's about intentionality.
It is. And the final, maybe most sophisticated role you can play as you build this out, Become the connector.
The connector.
As your network diversifies, start intentionally introducing people from your different circles who you think might genuinely click or benefit from knowing each other.
Ah, so you're strengthening the whole web.
Exactly. It makes your entire social ecosystem stronger, and frankly, it makes you a real valuable linchpin. People appreciate connectors.
That's fantastic advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap the core takeaway here. This isn't about fixing something that's broken. It's about optimizing your life, right?
Precisely. Expanding your friend group is about adding richness, adding resilience to what might already be a good supportive system.
And the research seems really clear that moderate level of social diversity, that 50-50 mix, it leads directly to greater life satisfaction, more happiness.
It does. And honestly, the timing couldn't be better for people thinking about this, especially here in Charlotte.
Why now?
Well, the city's growing like crazy, right? Something like 100 new people moving here every day.
Wow.
And you've got these dynamic districts, Plaza Midwood, Noda, South End, Ballantyne, constantly evolving, offering new venues, new events. The opportunities to meet diverse people are just abundant right now, maybe more than ever.
That sets the stage perfectly for our final thought. So here's our provocative thought, and really it's a concrete, actionable step for you to take this week.
Okay, let's hear it.
We want to encourage you to use the lowest anxiety step that came up in the Source Materials Challenge. It's simple. Ask your current friends about their other friend groups.
That's brilliant. Why is that so effective?
Because it leverages existing trust. You're not walking up to a total stranger cold.
Right.
You're simply building a natural bridge. You ask your trusted friend about their friend who works in that different industry you're curious about, or who lives in that neighborhood you want to explore.
It's a friend of a friend introduction, basically. Super low risk.
Exactly. It's your immediate, easiest route to finding those first few diverse connections. It sets the stage perfectly for starting to build towards that 50-50 sweet spot we've been talking about.
Love it. So the challenge is set. Go explore those connections.